I want to play this other one too and ask you about the story that you have on your Facebook about it. The success and effect bass rock and beats.
Yes.
And so there's the picture of you and Carl Cox.
Yes.
And you said you had given him the only copy in existence besides no one. Yeah. So tell us about this track, that story, and tell us, I'd like to know really, Frankie, who your influences are.
Okay, well, to get started, I mean, so when I was talking about Omar Santana, Carlos Berrios, both really, really talented freestyle producers in the 80s. And we kind of joined together. Those guys are my heroes because we were teenagers. We all were living the dream. Omar started making a lot of money doing edits, and then Carlos, started producing. Those guys are my, we grew up together. So, And then I had a mentor, Tony Torres. He was like a DJ from my neighborhood that wound up going to a roller skating rink with my parents in like 82 or something, and this DJ, he worked at the local record store, but he was out in Long Island DJing, so he took me under his wing and taught me about the industry, so I learned a lot, So those guys are like my heroes, but so let's get back to the Success and Effect track. You listen to this, it's this track right here is where the whole drum and bass thing came from, and people always talk about the Winston sample, but nobody knew it was the Winstons. And if you know, from back in the day, you hear that "Let the Bass Kick."
Yeah.
That's from this Success and Effect record. And what it did was they sampled the Ben Break, but they chopped it up and put 808s in it. And that's like the prototype drum and bass record. So yes, Carl Cox got me and Lenny had I don't know how me and Lenny got an extra copy. We had 3 copies. So I said, "Yo, you're coming over for the first time in December." I've been on a few tours in England. I already was friends with Carl. He knew we were coming. So me and Lenny show up at his house. It's December of '89. Gave him this record right here, and Carl just built his own studio. But literally had just finished his studio, and he's laughing. He's like, "I don't know how to work any of this gear." So I was like, "Well, like Tommy Musso does most of my programming. We can't really ship Tommy over here, but you got to find somebody that knows how to get the ins and outs of this equipment, and you got to start making music as fast as you can, as soon as possible, Yeah. And he was trying to wrap his head around it. And when we gave him the Success and Effect record, because he loved my Bones Breaks 5. The track's called Janice Revenge. All it is a loop of the Success and Effect record on the Bones Breaks record. And Carl was playing that. So we gave him the Success and Effect record. Now he has the genuine article. So I said, look, go remix this, fly some beats over, do 2 edits and put it out as a white label. And that's pretty much what he did. And it was known as the Carl Cox Success and Effect. And it had a famous piano sample from this record, Landlord, I Like It, which was a big house record. So he kind of smashed the 2 together, put the white label out, and sold, I don't know, 10, 20,000 copies. Everybody thought it was his record.
Yeah.
Then he did I Want You Forever legitimately, and he blew up really. To have your first record blow up like on top, top of the pops, and that was Carl, and he's not stopped ever since. And
not at all.
Carl is the most genuine dude you will ever meet. I stayed at his house many times, and he doesn't get mad. He don't get angry. I wouldn't want to make him angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, very humble guy, and the space between his teeth kind of Madonna has that too, and it's it draws you in. Just his whole persona.
Yeah.
The whole persona. You cannot, when people say stuff on the internet, everybody talks so much garbage about people, and when people say things about Carl, I always got to come to his defense, because it's listen, that guy. Number one, I'm telling you, when people are, "Oh no, he's not as good as this one or that one," no.
Oh.
Carl is his own entity. He's been doing his thing 30-something years. Let him flow, man. Let him go.
Yes, yes.
No, it's hard because the industry really will suck you. It sucks people down. It knocks people out the box. And I kind of got knocked out the box a couple of years back, but then the pandemic hit, so. While the pandemic was on, I learned how to get my graphic design the way I needed it to, and my sound design. And this doesn't mean I'm better than anybody or anything, but for myself, I'm at a level where I could take on a lot of things right now. And, at the time in 2017, I'd fall into these slumps where I can't write, and I can't produce, and I can't get my art shit right. Now, we're coming out of this whole pandemic thing, and I'm really feeling like it's within the next year, really, some big moves got to be made, but I think we've already made some, so.
They're going to be made.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear. On that point, tell us what Frankie first, and Brian, tell us what you guys have coming up.
Well, I mean, like, I know Brian for so long. It's like, yo, when you look back at the amount of years that passed, we don't have that many years left to, I tell people, like, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I say, like, I'm a cat on my 8th life. So, cats have 9 lives. And they're like, oh, yo, Bones, you're going to be around for a while longer. I didn't say I was going to die tomorrow, but tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So, but I feel really blessed. I feel like I never got the actual, where I should be to where I am. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. It's just, I've been telling a lot of these stories. Now, the only thing that's going to help me at this point is to connect all those dots all the way up and being current at the same time. Like last year, me and Brian were very current with music. People just say this and that, but we were getting releases out there. We were getting signings.
This track right here, I Can't Stop Raving.
That's right.
Go,
Shout out to
and
T78.
the thing is, shout out to T78. I'm telling you, that's the Italian crew. They rocking it over.
Killing it over.
Yeah, I Can't Stop Raving was a good song to kind of wrap this up with.
Yeah.
So like in 2010, when Data Life was out, they had that. They had this part of their sound where it would be like a stutter effect and it would stop and it would start. And thank God the same thing going in it. It's like a similar style to that. And then I hear old Bonsai records from the 90s. So it's like with this style of like hard trance, I mean, nailed it down. We couldn't do anything better than that. But you don't get the amount of respect that you would have back in the 90s because 80 other people made a track that day. You know what I mean? Like thousands of tracks come out. So over time, people start to realize, the people that are down with you, this is it. Your net worth in 2022, your net worth is your network. That's it. Your network is your network. So
it's a good way to put it. So tell us, Dank. Brian, what do you got coming up, brother?
Lot of good stuff. Lot of releases coming out. Insomniac Music.
Nice.
Shout out to Pasquale and all those cats.
Yeah, I was out in California last week, and it's my first time going to California in 2 years and 2 months. I mean, I lived in California for a while. So when I stepped off that airplane for the first time, I realized everything I was going to do that week, everybody has moved to a new house or retail to a new store. Insomniac split up their offices. They moved downtown LA, which is like, downtown LA is rough these days. That's the clothing end of it. And then they moved to Calabasas, which is in the valley. So I'm sitting in traffic going back and forth because I'm doing a couple of things with the clothing company and Jive that used to do the clothing in the beginning of racing. They got a new line of clothing coming out that I'm involved with. So I'm shooting back and forth. I got to drop these demos off. And like, Dank's got a little arsenal of stuff here that I know would be good for, for Insomniac because it's right up, it's future rave. I mean, really, that's what it is, future rave.
Yeah. So future rave, and then we got Ultra Music.
Yeah, man.
Ultra Music releases coming out on Ultra Music. Couple releases coming out in European labels, Hexagon. And
That's
shout out Don Diablo and all those cats over in Europe. A lot of good things going on. A lot of good shows coming up.
Nice.
Shows that we're going to be promoting also.
All right.
We're going to be doing some beach festivals again.
Nice.
That's going to be a yearly annual. It was so successful that it's going to be an annual thing. In Rockaway Beach.
Hell yeah.
First of its kind. We throw big rave mini festivals on the beach.
That sounds awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
We're going to have guys.
Yeah, I remember watching you do that.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
But this year is going to be triple that.
Yep.
We're going to have guys like, I'm not going to say nothing, but
yeah, I mean,
legends and fly them out. And
I believe you will.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's been rough because, we were doing the sessions parties during the pandemic in 2020 and, I think people are really ready to get back to their original, what they were doing before all this madness happened. And it's not going to be overnight, and it might not ever be the way it used to be, but the spirit of the music is it's so strong in so many people's hearts that it can't be stopped. It couldn't be stopped 10 years ago. It wasn't stopped 20 years ago. It just kept getting bigger and bigger, and there's still room for more. So, I mean, it's just, you got to know your network, and that's pretty much where it's at. So we got a nice team.
We're coming.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I want to thank you guys so much. Thank you,
man.
Brian.
Thank you for having
us. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Tina Marie. It's so awesome. But I gotta, especially for, bringing your friends in and working with me so much on this, man. It really meant a lot. It was really. This is when I decided to do the DJ series, I never would have thought that this is how it was going to end. So I couldn't be happier. So thank you both so much. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning.
Only the
Just
beginning.
getting started.
All right, everybody. So that is it. We're going to wrap it up tonight. This is the end of the 2022 New York City DJ series. I hope everyone enjoyed this series. You can go on to www.musicisthespice.com to find the Spotify playlist for tonight. You can go on to the website also to watch this episode. You can check out DJ Dank on Instagram, Frankie Bones on Instagram, Tina Marie Diva on Instagram. We're all on Instagram. So, yeah. There you go. And we got djdank.net and Tina Marie. TinaMarieDiva.com. There it is. So support all of them because we need support. And thank you all so much. We'll be back at the end of March for another episode. And until then, peace.